Since we're discussing here this week a topic concerning disconnection, I feel like we should balance it out with connecting to other people. And be sure that this supportive group will always keep you supported, uplifted. So if you want, go ahead and write in the comments, how are you? So if you need to hold your hand, we're here for you. Now, I have this one question regarding to this week's topic. Have you ever built your life and you checked all the boxes and you really followed the instructions right? You followed the rules and you were praised, as we already know. And one day you wake up and you start to not be that excited to go to your school, to your job, to see your spouse, to see your boyfriend, girlfriend, to basically continue with what has been happening throughout your life. Continue this script. You stop for a second and you're like, okay, so I built all of this, but why doesn't feel like my life anymore? Why does it feel like I'm the side character in my own life? Like that, as if I would be living for some kind of imaginary person. And you kind of feel fake. And I want to tell you that this is not crash, this is not a failure, this is simply a disconnection. And it happens that this week we're talking about disconnection. And this disconnection, it is very quiet, it is subtle, doesn't bring any explosive emotions or explosive feelings. Once it appears in a sneaky way. However, be sure that once it exists, it's like a scream of a baby. First, it's just a little, complaining or a little tiny cry that doesn't really annoy you. However, if the baby doesn't get what it needs, which disconnection literally is, the baby or the disconnection will start to be louder and louder until it becomes completely unbearable and you either get mad or you just need to do something with that. And of course, the second version is what we're gonna do today. No one is getting mad here. No one's getting crazy from this kind of discomfort that the disconnection creates. Every problem always comes with a solution. And first, every problem might not be a problem in the first place. So it's really just about our approach. And as we already discussed in the first lesson, the awakening that was the last week, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna put somewhere there a card of the video and you can put it and watch later, because so that you get the whole experience and you can really get into this series. It's just 5 weeks and I believe that it's worth watching one video per week, actually two videos. There are like this one talking and the next one is practical use, but it's something for you. It's an investment for yourself, and best believe that if you want to make any kind of investment, it's either into very good stocks or into yourself. That's it. If you're disconnected, there might be a very big probability that you have been performing someone else, that you have been playing a different character in your life. You've put a mask and you did not put it off until now, or until the day that you decide to put it off. However, in any case, this mask is very heavy. It is very expensive because you need to pay attention. Can we hear the pay? The word pay in the phrase pay attention. It becomes really expensive in your energy to to be playing someone else. Imagine that you're a freaking actor your whole life and no one even pays you. This type of conditioning, which is made mainly in childhood, is really just a programming. It's as if you would get a computer and put a code in it, and now the computer would be running always in any task or in Excel sheets. If you're gonna put there a math formula, it will always put out the results through that math formula. And so now imagine in any way, but we can also put it in a metaphor with the formula. In your childhood, there is always created some kind of formula, like either formula, I'm the best, I'm successful, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm something something, or I'm failure. Imagine that you were always playing the strong one because you have been called like that by your dad. Maybe you're a guy and you wanted to cry and your dad said to you, like, strong guys don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. He shouldn't have said that, but he did. And now there is no blame towards that person that made it real, this formula or this code in your head, this programming. This is just right now for us to deal with it, and we can deal with it. These people also needed reprogramming, and maybe they didn't even manage it, but you did. You're already watching this video, and this is already, I don't know if you understand how big of a step it is in your life, because you are aware. And this is the first and the biggest step. And I'm gonna say it maybe twice in each video. We can call it a ritual from now. I really, really encourage you to be celebrating yourself for this. So many people don't even know that. They don't even know that they are running here on some kind of subconscious mind. So many people don't even know that the subconscious mind exists. Celebrate yourself for that, for knowing. The more you know, the wiser you are. And the wiser you are, the better decisions you make. And the better decisions you make, the better future you will have. Hi, my name is Edith, and I created the Identity Reset exactly for you and as well as for me. Actually, for my younger self that would really need it. And here, you don't chase anymore. You're doing the opposite. You're returning to yourself. I guide ambitious people who feel off in their current lives to gain the self trust again and to be okay with living their lives in alignment and be completely in peace with that others are seeing them, but it doesn't have any influence on them. And to anchor this week's lesson, I've created a journal for you. Of course, every week there is a new journal. And this time you have two questions that are gonna open some door to your true self even closer. And once you're ready, if you haven't done so in the first week, you can go ahead and check the description below this video. There is a link and you'll click on it, you'll write your name and your email, and then I'm gonna send you the whole series of these journals alongside with the videos and the meditations. And if you want specifically only this second journal, you'll also get the access to the whole journal vault, so you can basically download any journal you want. So yeah, just a little information. And so let's be honest, you can have a pretty amazing friend group, you can have amazing family, be healthy, you can have all the riches, you can even, heck, you can even have a Lambo in front of your home and still feel so freaking empty that it really is unbearable, that you really are not happy about waking up. And that's the most and the best time to actually wake up. Just like that, you can feel like a ghost in your life. I mean, of course, it doesn't have to be so extreme. The only thing is, if you're not feeling like doing it, or if you're not really having the why behind what you're doing, or because, of course, procrastination exists, and we sometimes need to apply a little bit of discipline into stuff that we do. You know, I'm not saying that it should all feel like a walk in the garden full of roses, but it definitely has to feel meaningful. And so, if the meaning isn't right now in the life, and normally you show up, you smile, you do your work, but there is not the aliveness that you have felt. For example, compare it with your childhood. Yes, we can still feel, even as adults, we can still feel like children. And actually, once you feel like that, that's the time that you healed. I said what I said. Honestly, right now, I feel like a child every single day. And I know that I need to pay taxes. I know that I need to work. I know that I have some responsibilities here. But that doesn't stop me from acting like a child, you know? But in the most like exciting way, not like a child, like, complaining all the time. No one wants to hear that. And so once you feel this numbness, this like nothing inside, nothing is happening, nothing is like tingling in your body, that's the time there is the disconnection from the life that you're living, from the life that you thought that you're gonna love. And unfortunately, it's more common than we want to admit. And even more unfortunately, as I already touched on that, so many people don't even know that. So, again, celebration that you kind of want to fix it. You want better for yourself. And I thank you already right now that you want more because you can have it. And where does it start actually? Well, this connection rarely starts in chaos. It usually starts when everything is still. Because if there is something unnatural in world, it's stillness. Nothing is still ever. You see the summer changing for autumn. You see the rain, you see the sun, you see the rainbow. Everything comes and fades away, everything is changing. How the hell should we get approval for staying still and always in the one mask that was chosen for us? It's unnatural. Of course, there's gonna be something wrong with it. And so, once you are about to stay the same, just so that you get the approval, just so that you fit in, just so, as in childhood, you would see this as an opportunity to feel safe, as an opportunity to belong and survive. However, no one's gonna die, but your nervous system thinks that you will, because that's from the evolution. Once a person was alone in jungle, well, 1 hour and he's gone. He needed a tribe. Human bodies are so amazing, but I don't know, maybe they need a little update. Um, However, since we did not get it yet, we need to update ourselves on what's actually happening. And that it's actually really governed by the nervous system, by brain, by the feeling of safety. And so once you get used to being in approval of others, you are going to continue to be that good girl. You are going to continue in being quiet rather than stepping out of your comfort zone and facing others' opinions of just this look of, oh, she talks. Wow. Or jokes also, or compliments that are actually meant to make you feel uncomfortable, or really just opinions of others like, you never talk, why, like, wow, I'm surprised that she's talking, or something like that. Or the strong one, you're suppressing your emotions so much that one day you're gonna just crumble down and cry all day. But that what needs to happen, honestly. Like, no way you're going to suppress this. Please don't. When it comes, just feel it through, because this is how the person heals. So, let's say you want that approval. So, you say sometimes yes, even though you really want to say no, or you just don't feel like going on that freaking party second time in the week. No. But for people, you should show up. Should. And you shrink to keep the peace rather than just speaking up for yourself or for others. You really don't want to have any conflict in your life. You don't know how you would deal with it. What if they would reject you from now on? Or you think that you're not good enough if you don't have the results. So you chase productivity over being present in your own life here and now. And you keep doing this, for example, for a decade or two or three, even. And some people just keep doing it their whole lives. Exactly like this. You lose the connection with your true self, and you don't even hear your voice anymore. But we just want to be joyful, right? So why does the nervous system act like they're against human enjoyment? Why? Well, because nervous system doesn't protect your joy. Nervous system protects your survival patterns. So, if honesty once became shame, or if softness made you feel vulnerable, or if stillness meant that you are going to be left behind, your nervous system and your brain will remember that you need to keep moving, keep masking, keep adapting, keep performing, and keep hyperanalyzing always the environment, the faces and expressions of others, because we're going to perform based on that. This doesn't start with you. It starts with people that didn't go to therapy. It starts with people that weren't aware. But you're here for yourself now. Your inner child wasn't aware. Your inner child is not a victim. Being a victim is only your decision. It's only if you let it shape you as a victim. It's only on your approach. And here we are not victims. Here we're our heroes for our inner child. And as it doesn't start with you, it heals with you because you heal. These are just patterns. It's not as easy as removing a formula from the Excel sheet or removing a code from the computer, but it's absolutely necessary if you want to live a fulfilling life, full of alignment and peace, and this self trust, which is, I believe, one of the most important things in authenticity. These patterns were literally strategies on how to cope in life that was full of uncertainty or full of expectations or full of doubts, full of limits. So you are pretty smart actually. You are a strategist. Okay, now let's get rid of it. First thing, as always, we need to be aware. You need to just observe it. You don't judge it. Judgment never helps in anything except for, in the law. But in personal life, judgment of others, judgment of anything, It doesn't really add to your life. It rather just steals your energy because this is really an energy stealer. And I'm gonna give you one prompt to think about. In the journal, there will be more prompts as well. However, this one is really straightforward. And now let's just take like 1 minute to think about it. I'm gonna leave the screen, or maybe I'll stay here. Like approximately 1 minute. We're gonna just be here in silence, literally. And we can also think about it. I'm gonna actually also think about it. Let me read the prompt. Where in my life am I being who I think I should be instead of who I really am? And this is like the compass that you need to follow. If you come up with something perfect, however, if you don't, that's also completely okay. Everyone needs a different amount of time. So let's go. 1 minute starts now. All right, do you have something? If you do, perfect. If you don't worry. I think I have one thing that I've realized now. I'm gonna share it with you, and you can also share it with me in the comments if you feel like, if that's comfortable for you. I think for me it was, and it is, in certain gatherings of people that I don't feel like I'm vibing with, and that's when I feel like I'm always trying to be non-conflict, like without the conflict. So yeah, I think I need to read again the book, uh The Power of Being Disliked, or it's somehow titled like that. um the Act of Being Disliked, or The Beauty of Being Disliked. There's actually Tate McRae that was sharing it on her Instagram, that she was reading it, and it's really a incredible book. So for this week, if you feel like you want some kind of book, I think and I was always this type of person that didn't want any kind of conflict. So yeah, hmm? It's good to think about it, even now that I really don't care from 99% of my life what people think. The journey of facing every opinion and being really yourself, it's never linear, and it will always sometimes come back with little hints and little tests whether you're really like willing to go full and go all in, to really gain the freedom of not overthinking, not people pleasing, not giving yourself away in spaces where you're not appreciated at all. So that was just a little personal insight. However, what if you stay disconnected? What if you don't do anything with this? Let's talk about that. What is actually the cost of being disconnected? Because, of course, it's complete exhaustion and it's the start of being burned out. However, there are way more things that don't feel like a very good future. First is indecision. Oh boy, if you cannot decide for yourself, you're going to be finding yourself 10 years later on the same post of a junior accountant because you just cannot decide for yourself. Indecision is really the killer of potential. I know that I'm speaking to an ambitious person, so you know what I mean. Next thing, it's self doubt. Well, self doubt in combination with indecision, you just gotta be you can be also as well a freaking mushroom, in the forest, just being still like this. And no one really cares if you're having self doubts because you're a mushroom. You don't have really big potential. You really want to erase 100% of the self doubts. And it's possible. In my life, I was doubting myself so much that I wouldn't go on the school that I wanted to go just because my teacher said something, just because my family wanted to see me in a, their own eyes in a very successful corporate company. And I was so filled with self doubt that I listened to every one of them. And yeah, combination with indecision and self doubt, it's just going to be a lesson, let's say. As for me, it was a beautiful lesson that I really needed. But if you are going to be deciding, for example, now in your next move to a different company, or whether to start a business or to find a new job, really imagine that you are not having self doubt. Imagine it. And imagine that you know exactly what you want because you already know. And that's maybe the most important thing and the most cliche thing that I'm gonna say in this video, but it's gonna be the most important thing because you know that you know. You just need to open the door. And by the way, the journal will help you with that, so go ahead and make sure you get one. You really want to just allow the truth to come into your life because you know what you want to do and you know that that self-doubt doesn't exist, fear doesn't exist. And imagine that you would be living on the indecision, on the self-doubt, and on the overthinking, because so many people will always have opinions about you. This is a recipe for constant something is missing in this life type of mood that you're going to wake up with every Monday. Even you're going to feel it on Sunday evening. How do you feel on Sunday evenings? That's also a very important and big factor. How to fix this? Well, first, do the inner work and the meditation that I'm gonna launch this Friday is going to help you with that. So stay tuned for that. I believe that you like it and I hope that it will help you in any way. However, this journal, that's why I always praise journaling so much with your hand and with on the paper, not in your notes app or anything like that. Believe it. Believe me. For now, believe me. We don't have much time for explaining the effects on brain, but believe it for now and try it. Just try it. And trust the feeling. So journaling, becoming literally your own coach in the process of journaling. And also meditation, somatic practice. In this week, try to say one truth from your true self. You've now just picked maybe a place or a situation where you're not being yourself, as we were doing this, as you were answering on the question, where in my life am I being who I think I should be instead of who I really am? So now either you have it already or you will find out. You pick the situation and you will be very, very much aware in that situation, particularly. And you're gonna say truths. You're gonna say one truth per day if the situation occurs daily. If not, just choose a very suitable moment for you to say truth that you wouldn't normally. For example, with the parties, you can on Friday, this Friday, you don't have to go on a party. I mean, or you don't have to even go on a gathering with someone. You don't have to go on that date you agreed on. You don't have to go with your friend that you're seeing just because it's been 10 years, and relationships like that shouldn't be ended. It can, and it should if it's not authentic relationship. You know that you don't actually have to do anything that you don't want to do. If it doesn't, if you don't harm anyone by not doing it, of course, and if it's not your responsibility, right? But you know what I'm talking about. In your daily free time, you can do anything you want. There is nothing you should be following. It's your free time. It's your time. You are going to be the master of your time. Of course, it's gonna feel very uncomfortable. And in the first day, you might be like, okay, I'm done. Why? What's the point of this exercise? Well, the point is that the feeling after is a test. Whether you really want to be yourself, whether you want to get that potential of yours and really seize it and get out of it most that you can. For an ambitious person like you, this should be like just a little bump that you're gonna run across. And you might stumble a little bit, but then you're gonna get on the track again. And you'll finish this task, because really ambitious, driven people pick one goal and they know why they picked it, and they're going to achieve it, no matter how long it will take. If you're not that ambitious about, you know, living your life actually and not life for others, then this will discourage you. This will give you the feeling that there is no point in doing this, and what kind of shitty exercise is this? Like, do you think that I'm gonna get better by saying one truth per day? Well, yeah, because this is literally the test of your patience. So trust it. And I lived through it, and that's why I'm saying it with this type of conviction, because I really experienced it. And I cannot really tell you how long it took me. It took me a while, because I did everything without the support and without any psychologue, anything like that. I literally needed to create a coaching version of myself for me. So I did it. That also took some time. And then I started to really coach myself through this journey to doing really what I love and what is meaningful to me. The other side after the discomfort, that's actually where the real you lives. And we really want to get there. So remember again, the disconnection isn't or wasn't any kind of fail or because you would be lazy or weak. It's just your survival mechanism that was created in childhood. And through this survival filter, your brilliance just got out, because it could have been too extra. It could have been threatening to others. So it was not allowed, because you really put on the first place always the survival. And once you really start to live as your true self, as who you always wanted and meant to be, you don't have to overthink every decision you make. Your decisions become very clear, as well as your boundaries. And you become magnetic, because you know yourself. And the person who knows themselves, they are very confident. They walk differently. They talk in a different tone. They look into your eyes differently. You literally see in their eyes different soul. There is a saying that your eyes are a gateway to your soul. And once you really get to know yourself and get steady and grounded within yourself, get comfortable, get confident, actually get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and get confident and heal, your eyes shine differently and you attract literally the people that are as authentic as you, because you always attract naturally people that you vibe with. And your desires make sense all of a sudden, and you finally stop performing your life and you start to live it. Okay, so that's it from me for this lesson. I hope that you took away something valuable. Don't forget to get your journal to go even deeper, because it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes more, but oh, the effects are exponentially higher. This Friday, I'm also inviting you to check out the meditation that is going to be here in this channel. It's going to be about finding the parts of you that were once silenced, and we're gonna get through a little somatic practice. So it's gonna be something a little bit different than the previous meditation. So, yeah, I hope that your week is going to be successful, but way more real. Let's try to say the one truth per day, minimum. Keep going. Thank you for wanting more, and I'll see you or talk to you on Friday or any other day that you're gonna feel like. Bye.